work though. So you really ain't gonna hit that subscribe button, huh? Hey, what's going on everybody? It's Trace Digitals, and I thought that I would bring you a walkthrough video of the last speed paint image that I put up, or time-lapse video, or whatever you want to call it, called Woman at the Gym. Let's start off with that ink work though. Whoop. So to give you a little background, somebody came to me suggesting that I try to mimic someone's style to see if I have the ability to do it. So I took the original image that they found on the internet, tried it out. Big mistake. It came out bad. That's why I don't do commissions. That's why. So with that being the case, I thought to myself, why don't I take the existing image that I just did and use it as a template to draw a figure in my style, my own style. So that's what I ended up doing.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so this is what I'm doing right now. I'm just trying to get a rough outline of what the figure is going to look like. So I'm erasing all of these features so I can get a rough outline and use what I've already got as a template for the new female figure.
You think that would work though?
And look, I know there's probably a lot of people out there that's saying, okay, you're kind of cheating, but no, I'm not actually, because I drew the original sketch from just a photo study of what the other person's style was. So what I say is, if you're going to do something like this, because this is basically like a photo study, just make it unique, make it your own. Do not copy everybody's stuff. Just do your own stuff. And that's what I'm doing here, just trying not to add too many details. Okay, and in this part, you see that I'm just starting to gesture towards the clothes that I'm going to be trying to put on this person. I'm not sure exactly what type of clothes I'm gonna put on this person, but that's what I'm gesturing towards. And all I'm trying to do is just get the outline, just like the body of the figure, and then work on the rest later. So after I'm done with this, we can move on to the hair section. I got Indian in my family. Okay, so now that we're at this section, you can see that all I'm doing is the same thing with the hair. I'm just gesturing towards what I'm gonna do in the future when I get closer to the part where I'm inking this. And all I'm doing is squiggling and scribbling lines down. That's all I'm doing to give a shape of a hair. I don't know what kind of hair I'm gonna do, but I do know it's gonna be much more curly, and much more tighter.
That's what she said?
So that's all I'm doing. Not worry about the details. I may scribble in so just to get an idea of what it's gonna look like, but it's just a suggestion. And then after that, I just move on to the next section. Kind of think of it like jotting down things in a notepad. It's something that will spark an idea that you had, and then you can actually build on that to what the final concept will be.
Shut up.
The hands! Okay, so now that we have the hands, I want you to understand something. Hands are like the vein of my existence as an artist, and I know a lot of you feel me. Yes. But look, even worse, women hands hurt me the most because I started out learning how to draw on male figures. So drawing women parts feels like an impossible task for me. Women parts? What? Okay, so like I said, we're just gonna smoothen out the hands as best as possible. And I think the ones that's on the hat already, they're good enough. You know what I mean? I worked them as much as possible. So I'm just working them to what I think is the best I can do at this time, and then I'm moving on. I'm not gonna spend that much time. Whoa, them lips though.
Just don't do that.
Yeah, of course.
We're at the lips part, and let me warn you right now, these lips are going to look disgusting because it's just a gesture, and I have trouble with lips. I have trouble with lips because, like I said, I started on males. But that's not the purpose. The purpose is to get a rough outline and come back and make some beautiful lips later. If you have issues with this, if you have a block, feel free to go on Pinterest, Instagram, Google search images, whatever, Pixabay, try them all because they may inspire you to give yourself an overall rough shape. And that's what I did at the end of the day. But right now I'm just laying down the foundation. Now, after going on Pinterest, going on all these websites, if you're still not inspired or you still can't figure out what you want to do, go back to the basics. Go back to the squares, go back to just measuring how wide, how thick you want them to be, because you're gonna go back to those building blocks and they're gonna help you tremendously when you come back to actually just put in all of the full detail. I know it can be frustrating to do that tedious task, but
Today I'm going to be doing an overview of male human anatomy.
it's worth it. The eyes. Okay, now that we're at the eye section, right here, all I'm gonna do is completely replace the eyes. What I ended up doing was going on Pinterest and doing a quick search. I seen multiple eyes. I chose a style that I liked and I went with that, and then I made it my own. I added the eyebrows and such, and then I added eyelashes. And that's basically it, what I ended up doing. And I ended up going with that. Okay, but the problem with this face is that the placement of the nose and the mouth, for me, is wrong. I knew something was wrong, but I just couldn't figure out what it was. So what I ended up doing was going back to the basics. I brought my circle, I made my quick circle, and then I made my outlines of where I wanted the eyes and the eyebrows should be. Once I did that, I noticed that the nose and the mouth was way too high. So all I did was ended up bringing them down, and it gave it a much more softer look on the face. It's like, it's simple as that. That's why you gotta learn the basics and at least try them out and see if they work for you. But that's what I ended up doing, and it worked out amazingly. All that ink work though. Okay, we at the inking stage. And here we're gonna start off with the lips. The reason we start off with the lips because it is killing me when you compare it to the eyes. Those eyes are great, but they don't match those lips. These lips and these eyes. Oh, I see something. So I went on Pinterest, looked up my pens that I usually keep, and then I found some lips that I like. Then what I ended up doing was adding my own little detail to it, which were the teeth. And I've been practicing teeth because usually when I draw teeth on a character, they look buck. They stand out so much that they just look out of place. But I've been practicing, so I tried them out on this one also. Okay, now that we're done with that, let's move on to the clothes. Now that we're moving on to something that's a larger item, that's gonna bring the picture all the way together, I can explain to you what I mean by I sculpt instead of ink. Inking is a much more specific term, but I feel like sculpting is better for what I do. I learned this from Keenan Lafferty. His channel is called The K and Kale Show.
The K and Kale Show, episode 229, where
you should check it out. I'll probably put a link down below. But you see, I started off with these like whisper lines, these like whisker type of furry lines, and I just clean them up. Ken Lafferty does concept art. So his makes more sense than than mine, but that's just how I ended up learning. You can actually thank Zabio Arts
Hey, how you doing? I'm doing just fine. I lied. I'm dying.
for the messy style that I have also, because he got me over the fact that my drawings looked messy when they started. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people that haven't been drawing a long time feel the same way. But once I got over that, I was able to start drawing this way and combine these two styles that I learned from two different people together. And now this is how I do my my drawings. Let me really quickly shout out Clip Studio Paint. This software has taken my drawings to another level. I used to use Photoshop all the time, but the brush engine in comparison to Clip Studio Paint is just surpassed it by leaps. I would say this would be the only program I would use, but then the lettering is just not that good in Clip Studio Paint. But the brushes are a big help for somebody that can't draw that good. But, you know, to each his own. Oh yeah, now I'm at her neck. I'm all at her neck. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you guys that I ended up readjusting the neck when I was going over the shape of the body. The reason I ended up doing that because the previous drawing was huge. The neck was huge on it. It was wide out there. It was like a bodybuilder. It had wings and teeth. Dinosaur. But what I end up doing is moving it in slender. Moving it in closer. So the saying goes, if you put the neck starting at the center of the eyes, it will look more like a female's neck. Slender, maybe a little bit longer. So that is what I was told. I don't know if it works for every single pose, but that's what I was told, and that's what I ended up doing here. Okay, a lot of times what I do is when I get closer to the end of the drawing, I start thinking about lighting. So right here, that's what you see me doing. I'm thinking about the lighting, how I'm gonna make these lips full, or am I happy with what they look like right now if I put a little lighter on there? So that's what I'm doing. I'm basically just putting a couple spots where I think some nice shine would look on her lips. Okay, so now we come down to these pants. I wanted to change up the pants at the last minute. Like I said, that's when I'm getting more ideas as I get closer to the end. So I thought to myself, I don't want any of those, what are those things? What are those things called? What are those things? Leggings. But I might have failed. I think leggings look like this also. Nevertheless, that's what I was going for. That's what I'm shooting for. And then also while I'm doing this, I am bringing in any proportions I feel are off, which I still failed on this also. The hips should be a little bit more slim to match that neck. Oh, she looks a little thick, shall I say? Like a milkshake. But at the end of the day, I've come to a conclusion that nothing's gonna look perfect. Let's get these drawings out of our system so we can continue to get better, better, and better. So I continued on, press forward, and this is what I'm doing now. Okay, let's go back over the hair. Let's make the shape just a little bit tighter. Almost giving it a fro-ish feel to it. Let's put a little bit of detail in the inside of it, and just about that. That's all we need. That's it. Now all I got to do is go over everything a couple more times, put the details on the drawstrings and the sweatpants and stuff like that, and we are done. We are done. Done, son. Oh, and don't get into my comments asking me anything about the chest area, you freaks. That is not what this is about. That's not what this place is about, okay? And if you made it to this far into the video, it is a pleasure for me to be able to make something that would keep your attention for this long. I am so surprised. But there you have it. Both images side to side, basically a before and after. And if you're still here, comment, subscribe, like, all of those things. Oh yeah, and subscribe.